And so it begins.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Michael Butler Special Edition Quarantine Radio Experience. This is the Butz Show, live from Quarantine Studios, ladies and gentlemen. May I introduce to you first, T-Vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, T-Vibes. How you doing?
Man, I am chilling, man. Hanging loose in the rubber band, stretching out.
That's how to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to be honest. I got a full slate of guests here. I've got a four-way conference call. I got Nikki Glaspie from the Nth Power on the phone. Nikki, what is up?
What up? How you doing?
And I'm great. It's incredible, like to be this in close contact. That's weird. What just happened? Hello? Oh, I lost D-Vibes. He dropped out.
Uh-oh.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll get him back. But that's
back.
crazy. We had a strange little power surge there or something. Oh, it was like a boogeyman came through. We're working it out. This is quarantine conditions. We're locked in a studio, and we're making the best of it. It's crazy, like I said, that I can be in contact with people all around the world right now. And joining me, you're in Austin, Texas right now. I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. Deshawn, when he's back, and we'll find a way to get him back, is in Denver right now. And joining us from halfway around the world, Uncle Traveling Dex. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, Dexter, he is my old beloved radio partner from WEMF. Dex, I love you.
I love you too. Long-time listener, first-time caller, Butz. Great to be here.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure this out.
I think Vibes is trying to jump in now.
He's trying to. I'm afraid I might disconnect you all. So here, bear with me. I'm going to hit the button. Cross your fingers. I'll get you right back.
Hit the button.
Are you all there still? No, it's just Vibes. All right.
Just Vibes.
Here, I'm gonna do this over again. All right, we're gonna work this out. All right, here we go. Let's call them all. Call them all. Done. See, now this should be fun. We'll do this all over again.
Okay.
Oh!
Okay.
Are we on?
Oh! Is we all
I
there?
think we got everybody.
All right.
That's us.
Each in order. I want to hear Dex.
Yes.
Okay. Nikki.
Ew.
D-Vibes.
Yep.
All right. We've got a quorum, folks. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. All right. So today is another day in the life. Here we are. I sort of mark time, everybody, as like maybe sometime it was like last Thursday. This is Friday. It's like 8 days later from when I feel like things took a real serious turn and conditions changed dramatically as far as what life is like on the planet right now. But here we have four different locations represented. and we're all dealing with the with this intensely right now. I'm not wrong about that, people. Let's start, of course. Let's go to Dex right off the rip because you're in Australia right now. What's life like out there?
I'm like, it's weird out here. I'm in Brisbane right now. I was out here on tour, working. You know, I mean, I was the luckiest out of everyone I know. My tour just got canceled. I'm just freshly out. But they've completely locked down the borders as of 9:30 p.m. Nobody's allowed into the country of Australia. After next week, they're stopping international flights outside of Australia. It's getting a little bit worse over here, but it seems like it's kind of the lightest that it is anywhere.
Right.
Wow.
So yeah, you were telling me. I mean, you must feel, of course, like there's only going to be so many opportunities to decide as to whether or not, you know, like this is where you're going to be. Like they're starting to really draw up. It's not that easy to get a flight, you know, into America these days. So I hear.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I have a flight on Tuesday. Who knows what'll happen between now and then? I got a visa until the end of June, so I mean, it might just be ride it out in Australia. It's crazy thing right now.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the wildest thing to do to find a nice, safe place in like a place where there are, you know, not too many people. But you know, hey, if you end up making it back here, there are very few people I would break quarantine for, Dexy. But you know what I'm saying. But like, if you want to come in here and throw down and me with me and you know and Lamborghini over here, let's you know it would be great to see you. But I'm just so glad to have you you know back, first time caller on the quarantine show. You know, and if you hearken back to the radio that we used to do, you know, and any radio that I've ever been lucky enough to do. You know, the great guest that we have that always has, you know, takes us as far as we want to go conversationally is Nikki Glaspie. So, you know, to have us all agreed, right? And to have us all together today is quite a thing. So, like, Nikki, I just want to, you know, hear what life has been like for you. Like, I don't know what your gigging schedule was like before you were doing this and what you were up to, but I'm sure that your schedule has been changed.
Oh, yeah. So I actually had I had some crazy shit go down. So last Wednesday, I guess.
Yeah.
I had a tour with this band called Yemen Blues.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about it real quick.
Okay. So I started playing with this band. I guess the first tour that we did was like November last year, like the end of October, beginning of November last year.
Yeah.
And I met this singer. His name is Ravid Kahalani.
Okay. Ravid Kahalani.
Yeah, he's an incredible singer and like musician. He hit me up. A lot of people out there, they know who Ruslan Sirota is.
Absolutely.
Ruslan is one of my favorite people on the earth and amazing musician.
Yeah.
And anyway, he's friends with Ravid, and he had hit me up like, I don't know, a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it was like, yo, I got a friend. He wants to like play some music with you. He's like an Israeli guy, you know, but he's from Yemen, and he like crushes. And I was like, cool, whatever. Like I'll play with anybody. And so this guy hit me up, and we had talked on the phone for a minute, and we had planned on meeting, you know, like in a couple of months or whatever. And yeah, like when he came to New York, he hit me up and asked me to, you know, come do some recording. And I was like, yeah, bro, like let's do some recording. And when I showed up, it was this guy, Shanir Blumenkrantz. He's a sick bass player and oud player.
Okay. It sounds like you're into some like heavy vibes out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. It's, like super heavy.
Intricate.
I mean, that's the thing, is that I had no idea like what it was going into it. You know what I mean? Just like it's just a couple cats like just show up and then like we create music,
Right. Yeah.
that sort of thing. So
Sounds
I
wonderful.
went to the studio, and it was like me and like a couple of Israeli cats and this Japanese pianist.
Okay.
And then Rafid had called in like this like gospel choir or whatever.
Okay, that
So-
sounds fun too.
Yeah, totally. we just like had absolutely no idea like what was happening or what was to come, but it was truly like a fusion of different influences in music, and we kind of like made this thing, and I can't even like explain it to you, but it's like Arabic like gospel something jazz, like it's like all this like different types of music all together. And we had so much fun. We drank a bottle of Lafroig in the studio.
Okay.
And we just like we really connected, and we recorded like 2 songs. And then he was like, yo man, really had a great time hanging out, whatever. And he was like, yo, you want to like do this tour in November? And this is like last March or something. And I was like, yeah, of course, love to. So we did a run, and it's called Yemen Blues Hallel, right?
Okay.
So he like
Yemen
put
Blues
music
Hallel.
Plays Hallel.
Plays Hallel.
So he put music to the Hallel prayers,
Oh, nice.
Gotcha.
That's dope.
Yeah, and it was the instrumentation of the band was like the most interesting thing to me, or the coolest thing about it, because it was drums, percussion, oud, who also played bass, and then it was cello, violin, soprano, saxophone, who also doubled on the flute,
Wow.
trombone, trumpet, and lead singer.
And this
Okay.
this is available for me to listen to where exactly? Where?
Okay.
All right.
So actually, I can send you a show that they did, like the first show that they did was like a couple of years ago. I don't believe there is an actual recording of us doing it like from top to bottom.
Well, I mean, to a
But-
certain degree, I don't think I can play an actual recording over the air anyway. So, like, I could actually
okay.
probably play like a live set, and I think we can get away with that maybe. So maybe I will do that afterwards.
I can like send you. I actually have something like on a thumb drive, because I was able to record one of our
Oh,
shows.
cool.
But once I'll bounce it and like send it to you, whatever.
Yeah, because
But
honestly,
if
every
anybody-
day we're here that we're going to be doing something. So like it becomes a story that's getting told. I'll play the song tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing though, is that if anybody wants to like look it up or hear like what it sounds like,
Yeah.
it's called Yemen Blues Hallel. Okay. So YEMEN Blues and then Hallel. So you can look it up, and it was a show that they did. It was an idea, concept that they did like a couple years ago in Israel. So it only happened that one time, and then we went on tour with the music last November.
Got it.
Okay. So, long story short, I was supposed to go out with them. Supposed to be out with them like right now. What's today? Friday? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be playing in Germany like tonight, but that didn't happen.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Right.
So, anyway, the tour was started like last week, So I actually got on a flight to Paris last Wednesday,
Okay.
and when I landed, shit hit the fan. I got like text from everybody, and people were like, "Come home now!" Like,
Yeah.
You know, because when I landed, when I was in the air was when Trump, you know, announced the travel ban. You know?
Yeah. I mean, just to check in right there, I actually I had Schmeens on last night, and Lettuce was in the same predicament. They were overseas in Europe, and they heard it and still had a couple dates left on the tour. They heard that same announcement and was like, getting home, going home, canceling shows, going home.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is that obviously, you know, they like put out a statement like
it was a false
fixing
statement.
Everything that he said.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, like,
I mean, I listened to, you know,
it was like, citizens can come home. You know, it's like.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of a big detail, by the way. That's a key.
Yeah, it's kind of a big detail, right?
Especially to Americans who happen to be overseas, who are like, "Oh, the president's talking. Maybe I should actually tune in right now. Things are serious."
Yeah,
it's awful. It's chiming in.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and please, Dex. I mean, you know, what's going on as far as I know this is all hits very close to home for you, because you've got to make that decision. That's in front of you, and if anyone wants to weigh in on this, feel free to advise all of us on what best to do for Dex. Does he hole up in a safe zone that we'd all be jealous for? Because there's a couple places there that are pretty remote. He's halfway around the world. Okay.
He's on the other side. It's not even halfway.
Yeah.
You're like the farthest that you can get away from here. That's where you are. It'll take you what? It takes 24 hours to get back here from there.
Yeah, but when you're flying back, it's fun because you land the same day you took off. You spend 24 hours in the air and then you land the same day.
Yeah, time travel.
I completely lost Christmas this year. I left on Christmas Eve and I landed on 26. I just skipped over it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I remember that.
You're like, Christmas.
Yeah, I seen St. Nick go by real quick, and that was about it.
So yeah, I mean, I want to know how best to feel, but it's just honestly, I going through the same thing every day myself. There's a part of me that really just wants to if I'm going to shut in, then I should shut in with those closest to me, and that would be my mom and dad, and we can face this. We can be together. But I don't even want to be around my mom and dad, because adding a third person in the house that is another potential conduit is it decreases their chances somewhat, and we're all doing all that we can. It doesn't work, this social distancing, physical distancing, because people don't want to. We don't need to be socially distant, as we're proving right now. But as we're being physically distant, it doesn't work unless everybody does every last thing that they can come up with, they can think of creating a safe zone, taking themselves out of everyone else's disease equation.
Yeah, man. And this is actually the perfect time to be in a long distance.
Vibes, I can't hear you so well. What'd you just say? Get a little closer to the phone if you could.
Yeah. So this is actually the perfect time to be in a long distance relationship.
Oh yes, that is true. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever had a real internet significant other before, but yeah, it can be interesting. Just find yourself a random I don't know. They don't do IM. I haven't done anything like that since you went in random AIM chat rooms. That shows how old I am.
Oh my God, you've got mail.
It's I could actually reach out to someone, and I remember once when that went online, I was talking to random people, and I ended up talking to some girl from Vietnam. Okay, and she was arguing with me how America was the worst place in the world, and yet I asked her who her favorite artist is, and she said she was obsessed with Britney Spears, and I was just go away, because you can't hate America and like so Britney funny. Spears. You cannot do that, and that's what I learned. That's halfway around the world. I mean, we gotta bring back AIM. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. That is so
TalkCity.com. Jump into a chat room.
Yeah, like chat rooms these days, like back then it was safe. Like, chat roulette just ruined that for everybody. We can't really do like, oh, let's jump in a random chat room game anymore because, oh, that's a dick. That happens every time.
That's a dick.
Yeah, no.
Oh no!
Oh no! Yeah, but we're in quarantine. There's no rules here, folks. Just in case you're joining us, I want to thank you for tuning in. I'm live with two of my radio partners over a long time. A lot of radio hours have been accounted for between the three of us with Dex, Monday through Friday Tur, of course.
There it is.
And Deshawn D. Vibes Alexander. Each at least a year I spent in radio rooms with. And,
That's awesome.
On each side. And it's just, wait, I feel like I don't hear myself anymore. Hello? Am I still here?
I can hear you.
I got you.
Yeah, I hear you. We hear you fine.
Really? Did it get janky? Check 1, 2. Hello?
I-
You guys can be heard. So talk amongst yourselves.
Nikki, I want to start off by saying that what you're working on, what you were just describing, sounds lit, and you feel free to send that over to me too if you want.
Oh yeah, I'll send it on.
I'm
for
back.
Sure.
You're always on some super new shit, always some next level shit, and if you're excited about something, I am undoubtedly excited about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's it's really challenging, which is the cool thing,
Yeah.
I'm like always finding myself like, man, I gotta shed, like I gotta dig inside of this like before I bounce,
Hey, yes.
Speaking of practice and all that and what we get into, how goes your quarantine, Nikki? Like, we're talking about the things that we're doing. I've been challenging people to keep their quarantines creative and to be and I wonder, obviously for those who don't know, I don't know when I stopped going out, but I was just going to say, we were talking about my host, but the other person on the phone with us is Nikki Glaspie, drummer extraordinaire. If you didn't know, she plays with the Nth Power. Historically, she played with Dumpster Funk, and she was telling me about a new project that she was underway that she should be on the road with right now. But instead of that, she's at home in Austin. And how goes your quarantine? What have you set up to keep yourself busy?
Honestly, like, I've been sleeping a lot.
Word up. Me too.
Because like I haven't slept in years, So
it's amazing.
Just, like catching up. Yeah,
you have earned it.
Great, man.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been telling all the musicians, of course, we got a shed on break, but I mean, like Nikki, I know you've done that. I've heard you play.
Yeah.
And you're doing some amazing things. Like, I just want to point out what I can because you guys are all in quarantine and you've got time on your hands. So go down rabbit holes. Like, I stumble across, like, Nikki playing lately with the Ghost Note crew and some of the, like, that Zildjian series clip was just, like, some of the most ferocious clips I've seen from you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I want to hear some stuff like and I know you must be trying to think of something to do okay, once you've gotten your rest, of course, are you thinking of maybe like teaching any over like online lessons? I know a lot of my friends are starting to do things like that. Is there anything you want me to put out there for the world?
I mean, I'm available. I'm around, you know what I'm saying? If anybody wants lessons or what have you, if you could just pay me to talk, like
she's good at it, folks.
I'm really good at talking, so
well, it's funny you say that because like I actually remember like this amazing performance that the Nth made for the Berkeley students, and then it was just like here, Nikki, talk to the kids. And like she told them all kinds of truths. Like that was some real conversation right there. I mean, she didn't just give them like hey you got to practice. Listen to your teachers. It'll be cool.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And that's
These were some life lessons. Ooh.
Yeah, there's so much more than practice. You know, it's like everybody tells you to practice. It's like what are people not telling you?
Right.
You know, and there's a lot to be said. You know that there's like a lot that you go through as a musician that like musicians won't know until it happens to them or until they go through it or whatever. But it's lots of valuable life lessons
Well,
just from everyday life, just being a musician, what have you.
yeah. Well, I mean, I have to be honest. That's like what I was getting at. Like when I reached out to you today was just I know from the past that we get into some heavy subject matter from time to time about like the state of the human spirit and how we need to combat some of the negative energy that's been loosed in the world. But I remember the last times like I was doing radio is like as like Trump had just like been elected was there's been some time off since then since you and I have checked in this regard. Hey Nikki,
Yeah,
the world's a little crazy this week. It's been a couple crazy years in general. But like it was almost as if I said to myself that here we are, we've in biblical times we hear stories of they would bring disease to a plague would be brought to when humanity had gone astray. And it's like we've gone astray. The man upstairs generally sends a plague. And then I'm saying to myself, like, oh, wow, this is kind of biblical. Like, did we deserve, like, a plague? Do we deserve a plague this week? And then I said to myself, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, kind of. Yeah, totally. But you know what's crazy, though? Honestly, I was, like, looking at my friend Crystal Torres, super homie of mine. And she posted something that somebody else posted, just talking about like what is happening with the earth right now.
Yes.
Okay. As we are not, doing this, that, and the other, creating so much waste. And there was a dolphin that showed up, in Italy somewhere that hasn't been spotted in like 60 years, just because like there's no boats, there's no pollution happening right now. So like there's beautiful things that are happening,
Right.
in nature,
Yeah, it all does feel like some sort of bizarre corrective shift.
Yeah.
Hey, Vibes.
Which is
I
really
think,
cool.
Yeah, I think I'm hearing some background noise. I think it's coming from your end, Vibes. There's a lot of clunking around and a lot of moving around and a lot of stuff. I need you to tighten that up, my friend. Tighten up.
Man, I am sitting down.
Really? I'm hearing jingling and jangling.
I am couch locked like a mug.
I don't know where it's coming from.
That was me.
Oh,
That
Dex,
was me.
damn it.
I was making a move. I thought I was sick.
That's
I can't let
hilarious.
you go on T5 though. I can't let that happen.
Yeah, I think it is you because as you talk, you're in and out of phase. So yeah, let's get you. I mean, that's okay. I can understand because you're again halfway around the world. You're way down under. So like your options right now are basically like get on a plane home or start doing crocodile tours of the outback.
Yeah,
and carrying around a big knife.
Yeah, so basically right now the situation is that the border's closed coming in.
All right.
Most of the cases here have come from elsewhere. The States is having a tough time right now, and we don't need to talk about what the leadership looks like.
Yeah, it ain't that right. It is what it is.
It's not good over there either. So right now what I'm facing is I got a flight out on Tuesday. If I don't take that flight, there's no more, or if that flight gets canceled, there's no more flights out until potentially June.
Yo.
But because of the lack of tourism, I can go and find like there's places where for like $850 I could stay for 2 months on a remote beach over by the Barrier Reef. So
Okay, let me get a vote, people, if you can. You know
It's
what
a
I
tough
mean?
struggle.
I want you to send me like a lot of likes, or yeah, versus loves. You know what I mean? Or you know, like give me, or you know, right. So if Dex should stay in Australia, and enjoy life on a remote beach for like peanuts, you know, give me a like. And if he should come home, give me a love. Like I want to see them in my Facebook feed, and I know I've got a little delay, so like you know, I'll be able to recount this as it goes. But like, show me, you know, this is like you know, my partner here. He's around the world. You know, I want him home, but you know what? You know, I don't want him home because it's not, he's better off over there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to consider.
It's tough. This is Dexy's choice.
It's well, that's the other side of it. Is like, I mean, aside from my mom and my immediate family, brothers and sisters, the rest of my family is just friends and loved ones. I don't have children. I don't have a wife. I don't have a partner that I got to worry about. I am left with a whole bunch of freedom. Mind you, when I got here, the country was on fire. Then it was on the brink of World War III. Now it's in a pandemic. I'm like, what the hell is going on over here?
Yeah,
Maybe I need a.
Let's get real with that because like you have been there for exactly how long now?
I got here in December, at the end of December, and it has been a wild ride, man.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
So yeah, because that does harken back to like the wildfires, and that was. I mean, I don't really know. It's really hard to describe just how serious that was from an American perspective. You're over there. You were through it. People were legitimately afraid, and you know, all over the continent.
It was insane, Butz. Like, I mean, the smoke was so thick. Like, we would show up, and it would be on everything. Your car would be covered in ash every morning, like to a certain extent, just a couple millimeters, but still. You're breathing that shit in all day. Whenever it rained basically like dirty rain. There was so much smoke, and it was crazy out here. Like 2 months.
And so what?
It went from respirators for that to respirators for this.
And so
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, it's hard to find the silver lining there.
Yeah, well, the silver lining might just be go to a damn beach for 2 months and leave with a focused mind.
Yeah, you know
that's
what?
That's not me, by the way, in the background. That's not me this time.
That's not you. Who's cooking?
That's not me.
I hear like baking sheets.
Yeah, that is me.
Yo, and the funny thing is, I was talking about like, to someone like I think I was talking to Lammy about like D-Vibe's audio quality. That's why I came after him first because I think we were talking about the audio quality, and I was like, no, I was like, Vibes is usually okay. It's usually Nigel who puts like the phone down on the other side of the room and then cooks breakfast while he's in the middle of it, and then while he's in the middle of an interview. So like in this case, you're doing the same thing. Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I'm totally cooking right now.
And I'll bet it's breakfast. Yeah.
What are you cooking? What are you?
Yeah, that's the question right there.
That's a big question.
What am I cooking? Jerk short rib.
Oh man.
Yep.
Austin in the house.
You know, and the funny thing is there, at some point today, I definitely wanted to get into the fact that like it's been since I've been gigging at least once a week for the last few years. I've like honestly like I adopted a regimen of like I've eliminated everything from my life that one imbibes that isn't good for you, except for which I think weed is good for you. So I don't even count
Yes,
that.
it is.
Yes,
It is
I agree.
great for you.
it is. It is great. 4 out
might
of
be
4 out of
surprised to
4
find
Butz
out
show
I agree.
guests can't be wrong. So yeah, and so besides that, like I've corrected my diet, like I've lost a lot of weight. I'm doing all these things, and I feel like it gives me the best chance to for my immune system to be at peak fighting form. And I've been preparing for this whole situation without knowing it for like a couple years, and now my my immune system is as strong as it's been. But even
That's awesome.
yeah, and even but I would break my diet for those short ribs. Oh my goodness. So whatever, coronavirus be damned.
Yeah, right.
I want some. So yeah, and that's what are you gonna do? I mean, we're all just here quarantining, like I've been doing that. With these random things I do at home, one way I've been beating the monotony is I'm pretty much talking all the time now. It's like I'm doing this show, and I'm talking more like per second while I do this than I normally would. But the way it works out is that I've been talking to people because this is the only way I'm gonna feel like I've experienced the outside world with my time. And
Dude, totally.
you know what's wild?
Yeah.
You know what's wild? And I know that you guys have all known me for a long time, and you know this about me, and I think I pretty much have this relationship with all of you too, which is that I've been a phone guy from the very beginning. It's like ever since the world sort of turned to text, I still call people on the phone.
You're not a great texter. You're not a great texter.
No, I mean, no. I can go down the rabbit hole. I mean, once, Dex and I, spent 5 hours texting, at least 5 hours, back-to-back, nonstop Tombstone quotes.
Yeah, I'm going to say that was much more than 5 hours.
Much more than 5. Well, it went on from there. But the initial the initial conversation was all text, and it was one of the best times anyone ever had on a text. So I can be a good texter, but only if you're talking about Tombstone.
Wow.
And then he's your Huckleberry.
Tombstone.
Right.
Are you talking about the Undertaker?
A daisy if you do.
Tombstone?
Hey, you know what? Right, I'm your Huckleberry.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah, the other one. But Undertaker's cool too. Dexy, you seen any of this wrestling in the empty to the empty stadium in the practice facility?
Damn, dude.
I've only seen the clips that get put out. 316 was a pretty funny one.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. There is a kind of manic energy that's going on in these buildings, and it makes it like it's even more like it takes the pros and puts them back down in the sound stage, and instead of like the 12 people that used to be in the original Georgia program in the audience, it was woo. It was it sounded like nobody, clap clap clap. It's it's even quieter, but it does kind of remind me of old school Turner broadcasting wrestling.
If you don't mind, I don't. Oh, go ahead.
Stone Cold's bit where he came out and he was asking everybody to give him a hell yeah, and it was just he only had one hell yeah. I was just like, man, this is lame. This is pretty lame right here.
Well, yeah, it's true. You can't hear the hell yeah. I mean, look, this is what it's come to. I got to be honest with you guys. I last night for the first time, I actually had a chance to lie down and look on my phone, and part of when I go to Facebook Watch, let's say, is where I'll catch my clips from your nighttime talk shows. And I'll let a week or two go by and watch a bunch of them all at once. And I'm getting caught up with these shows, and I hadn't even really understood the lengths that they're going to on these shows. They're all broadcasting these shows. I saw Jimmy Fallon on his front stoop, and he was doing his show from his stoop. He had a laptop next to him where he was running a laugh track, for his monologue. So he would he had 5 different laughs he was cycling through, and a boo. You know what I mean? And an applause. So it was he had it covered, but it was kind of entertaining, Dex, but I mean, it was good. He did a good job, but they're not used to this format with no audience. They need they need to know that their joke went over or not, and I don't, okay? But that's a whole separate matter. But
So that's the world we live in with comedy. Unfortunately, most of those jokes aren't funny. On a side note, and I don't want to be the guy that breaks kayfabe or crosses any of the rules of wrestling, but I've gone to some of the house shows. I've worked some of the house shows, and when they have an undersold house show, a lot of times what they'll do in some of the smaller markets is they only sell half of the arena,
right? And
they'll black out the other half of the arena. So a lot of times when you see those superstars giving their promos to the mic, they're not looking at an audience anyway, but there's an audience behind them giving their energy.
Yeah.
But the other side of it is that they feed a lot of that, the chants and stuff like that. some of those don't start as organically, and you can't do that when there's nobody in there because then it would just you can't get a fucking 316 chip going when you're looking at the arena with a button on a sampler.
Yeah, it was really kind of funny to hear like Stone Cold be like, "What?" And then like, no, like he really can't hear you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's nobody there.
Yeah, he's like listening for the crowd that he's not hearing. He's like, "What? What?" Yeah, no, sorry, Steve, we're not there. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, could you imagine being the one that bought tickets to that show and then you find out fucking Steve Austin was there?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I think that's the thing is like, you know, and actually it is official holiday. 3/16 going forward is an official holiday. But what I was saying before is that you know, to get back to this whole idea that everyone's on their front step or in their like, you know, man cave or what have you, broadcasting shows, it's like we're actually like all limited to the same situation. But the truth is I found out that I was losing interest in what they were doing, and it made me nervous because like, you know, something like Seth Meyers in a closer look is a place where I get a lot of information from. It's like they'll cherry pick a lot of what happens, and my fear is without these guys doing like a format that holds people's attention, no one's actually getting the information in a time when they need it even more. So like, I don't know what role. Like I didn't realize. Like I didn't think this whole thing through. Like I'm going to go on the air every day and talk about it. Like, oh well, everyone knows what's going on. You know what? That's not a given.
It's not a given. Especially people with everyone's in their own circle bubble of news. You know what I mean? Like you really only hear what's shared with you. But I think that the bigger thing to take out of this, because you know you see all those jokes about how there's going to be a lot of babies born in 9 months or whatever when any of these things go down. But historically, when people are in a time of quarantine, when there's too many people that there are jobs, whenever there's people just sitting around passively, that's when a creative renaissance. Did you lose us? Did you lose me?
No, I hear you. It like dipped. It did a little wiggle, but like you're here.
Oh,
so
great.
Yeah.
Basically, this is the time when a cultural renaissance happens historically. You know what I mean? Like, start making some content, start filming yourself, putting your live videos out there, get over your fear of being in front of people through this medium while you don't have to be on a stage in front of people, and let's fix some shit. You know what I mean? Like this is the time for it to happen right now.
Absolutely.
Right now.
And Dex, just to echo what was going through my head is just in general, like, you know, wherever you are, I'm going to need you regularly on this broadcast.
Well, I think I'm going to be able to make that happen regardless of where I am, Butzy.
All right. Well, you heard it. So, you know, dude, you know, like I'm gonna dig up the old theme too. You know, like we're gonna get this.
I'm gonna start making more memes. I'll start making pictures of you and I again.
Yeah, you know, I have some. And the funny thing is like me and Lammy are experimenting here. I think at some point he put up a picture of Nikki. We're getting there. Every day, like the Borg, we assimilate a new technique. You know what I mean? Into our thing. So, like, you know. We can start putting up these pictures. If you send them to me, I can feed them to John over there, and he can work them into the image that people are seeing. You know, and I can even like, we're working things out. We're working it out. We're having fun, and it's the process of working things out that is keeping us sane.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I saw that graphic of Nikki go up. That was dope, by the way.
See, shout out to Lammy. I think, Nikki, you were about to say something. Am I wrong?
Hello?
Hi?
Yeah, no, I think D-Vibes was about to say something.
Oh, someone. I heard something.
He cut out.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Sorry, my video is starting over. I've just been I've been stuck in a trance just watching Parliament videos. That's all I've been watching.
Dude, that's amazing.
And that's the best thing for you, really.
It is. It really is.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and you can, and that's what it is. I mean, can we just like for a little while here, just like talk about the funk, like whether it's quarantine funk. Vibes has a residency in Denver that, you know, like I'm encouraging him to do one way or the other, whether it's happening in a club or on his live stream. When he does that with a band called Watermelon Funk. And it's all about the funk. And like something like the funk, like you don't need to, like people, you could listen to all, what do I do to get good at the funk? You know, that's like an interesting, yeah. Funk, all right, Vibes, what's your hot take?
Yo, this is the thing, man. to be funky, you got to be the funk. You can't get
Right.
good at the funk. You're either funky or you're not funky. That's just it.
That's just it.
That's just it. Yeah, and that is it. And like, if you feel that you're not funky enough, then absolutely, you need to listen to Nothing But Parliament for at least like 5 straight years.
Yeah.
At least.
At least, like if you have like a funk deficiency in your blood, you know, somehow, then like you need to take evasive measures.
Yeah.
Like bare minimum, you know.
Wait, but I hate
add to that. Add to that.
You know, I hate to interject with this right here, but I don't know if you guys like been paying attention to sports at all. I mean,
Sure.
I think just because like people aren't playing, like there's like a lot happening, you know.
Talk about it.
And dude, like, okay, I've never been a Patriots fan.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. It's the only other story there is. Every night it comes up.
It's the only one, right?
It's the only, and think about what it's like to be in New England right now when like we're like in quarantine with the virus here, and we got one story to take our mind off things, and guess what that is? Tom Brady leaves the New England Patriots.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds good.
honestly, I'm like, it's kind of like coronavirus. It's like
It's bad.
very shocking.
It's coronavirus level for New
Like,
Englanders.
I am very shocked. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like
It's shocking.
I almost consider myself a New Englander.
For real.
Besides the fact that like I've never been like a huge like Patriots fan. I've never been, you know what I mean? But like I understand
Right.
the brevity of the situation, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure. It's serious.
it's serious, and just it doesn't feel right to me. It's very strange and weird, like what happened, like why would they let him go?
I mean, I think because you know, he ain't doing it at the level that like Bill needs him to do it at. I don't think he wants. I think he knows that, like, in order. I don't know. Listen, I'm not even going to speculate too far as to what it is. It's like, you know, it's not.
But
It's not unusual.
Who's gonna do it better than him?
No,
Why are we assuming it was the Patriots' choice?
you're right. We're not. That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like it almost
Like-
doesn't matter who made the decision. It's like it's not unheard of for like a veteran quarterback who was a legend on one team. To finish his career, to see how the grass is green on the other, see if it's greener on the other side. Like Peyton Manning went to the Broncos, Joe Montana went to the Chiefs. This is fairly normal. And if you're a guy like Tom Brady, for 20 years you played. No football players played 20 years in one market. You know what I mean? Like except Adam Vinatieri, but not even he did it. He played 21 years. He actually split at the time between New England and Indianapolis.
Yeah, Indianapolis. Yeah.
So, like, I mean, you know, it's very. This is so unheard of that, like, if he wants to do whatever the hell he wants to do, he can go ahead and do it. You know, I mean, the Patriots offered him two years for $25 million, and the Buccaneers offered him like $30 million with $25 guaranteed, and he thought it was a better offer. He kind of I can kind of see it. I see him sitting down and signing a contract.
On the radio today, 2 years, $60 million.
Yeah.
And then like I just have like ESPN on, right? And it said 2 years, $50 million guaranteed or something, I guess. You know, but
right,
he can get up to $60 million, which I mean, obviously, like if I am a quarterback, even if I'm not a quarterback, if someone offers me a 2-year contract for $60 million, I'm taking it.
Yeah, I mean, if they offer you a $50 million contract and someone else offers you a $60 million contract, you're going to take it.
It doesn't factor in at all whether or not you got $200 million in the bank already.
You know, it could, but maybe at this point, you know, it didn't. But I honestly, it probably had something to do with wanting a change of pace. And I was watching him, sign the contract in some of his first appearances, and there's like a look in his eye, and you hear him talking about it, where it's like he's got to fit in. He's like the new kid. You know what I mean? It's like when you're 43-year-old who's played in the league over 20 years, it's kind of neat to feel like the new kid. It'll help you feel young in your twilight.
That's probably cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's never worked with any other coaching staff. He's never worked with anyone else.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
And it's a perfect situation because if he fails, everyone's like, well, he's at the end of his career. It's okay. If he succeeds, he's a genius. But he can actually go somewhere else now, and no one can really say, see, it was all Belichick. You know what I mean? Because everyone's been trying to say that his whole career, because they didn't see him as someone who had the God's gift of an arm. And then if you don't have that kind of God-given ability as a quarterback, then you're not the best ever. But that's not actually how it works. Championships.
Yeah, championships. I don't know. Anyone that says that he's not great, they're an idiot.
Right.
Agreed.
So I don't know, but it's just it's always weird to me.
I think personally, from my standpoint,
Todd Gurley. Okay,
oh yeah,
you guys heard? Yeah, he's gonna go play for the Falcons for a year.
Oh, is that what it is? Vibes. You got a running back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What did I say? Oh, wait, he had a funny reaction. I'm trying to remember what his hot take was on getting cut. He had a tweet. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was pretty priceless. It was getting cut on my day off or something. Yeah, it was he was just like it was like
you'll be filing your day off.
Yeah, it's yeah. See if you can look that up for me.
That is funny.
Tweet about getting cut comedy.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the Tom Brady situation from the other angle, he's out for.
That's just interesting. And it's always interesting to me, just when teams do the shuffle and watching guys go here and go there and everywhere.
Well, basketball is notoriously bad for that because it's they can just sort of meet whenever they, at the All-Star game and have a discussion and then hold the league hostage and just say all the free agents are going to play on this team, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, totally.
They don't really get to do that in football, and that's kind of why Brady took the money because, when you say, wait, didn't the Patriots offer him $50 million? He's got $50 million guaranteed. What's with this conditional 10? You know what I mean? And it's actually, to the $50 million that the Patriots are offering him is probably not entirely guaranteed. So the way football contracts work is that teams can void them in much more liberally the contracts than other teams and their athletes. It's kind of messed up.
Yeah,
it's always been a thing, especially because football players take such abuse.
Just imagine if musicians got played like football players. Basketball players.
Imagine if I here, go out and catch a pass from Tom Brady in real coverage. We'll give you the pads. We'll give you the pads. You know what I mean? Because the guys they're not allowed to hit you early. You know what I mean? So they'll let you they're going to let me catch the ball. Maybe they'll wipe me out. Maybe it'll just be I'll just run. I'll just scream and duck when they come in and not catch the ball.
Dude, man, for the way they get
no musician wants to get on that football field unless it's a place you spent some time.
Yeah, right. But it's funny.
I'm serious.
Well, when we say do vibes, you mean just in general of being traded to other bands?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take your keyboard player for the guitar player and the lead singer.
Yeah, it does happen. There's someone leaves one band and then it causes this shift. Then all of a sudden,
but there's no money. The disparity in the money is where I would gladly be traded. For,
Nikki doesn't get right.
$60 million.
Right, getting a bidding war. I want to see bands getting a bidding war over Nikki. You know what I mean? Because if they only knew that they could get in a bidding war and Nikki would show up, I think they would get in a bidding war. Right?
Yeah.
That's all it took, guys. Make her an offer. quarantine.
Yeah.
I've been telling clubs are going to pick up when all of this is like back online, and it's a new schedule. There's going to be like people who are going to like show up right at the front door. Hey, did you get my email? Did you get my email? Like the people are going to really be like scurrying for gigs, and like I feel like the whole landscape is going to change a little bit when it comes back online. So I mean, why not?
Yeah.
D Vibes was suggesting this the other night. We need to like redraw, have a musicians draft and redraft all the bands.
Musician draft.
Oh my goodness, could you imagine?
That's good. That's good.
Like that. Like imagine the crazy mashups that we
Oh wait.
get.
Okay. Is this officially? Wait, since we have a quorum here, like, is this officially like a copyright? If we all like have this conversation of an idea online, its origin is like legally here now, right?
Yeah.
How
we own
about
that shit.
a musicians like March Madness football like band thing where there is a draft and then we draft the bands and then the bands play.
Yeah. I mean that could be cool, but it's like there has to be a tournament.
Right. Well, the bands, it'll be a battle of the bands, and then the bands are gonna throw down. They're gonna come up with whatever they're gonna do. I guess everyone gets like, how much time, Nikki? This is important. How much time do we give these new crews to like figure out what their set is?
Oh, how much time?
Because we want to give them a little bit of time to maybe come up with like some original ideas.
Yeah, a week.
A week. Okay, we'll do the draft, and then the teams have like a week, or even like I don't know, maybe even a month.
Nah.
A week.
I like the week aspect.
A week.
It's too much. It's too long, man.
Right, you're right.
Yeah,
we'll do a week. Right, I'm with you, Vibes. We'll do a week, and then everyone will just figure it out. You know what I mean? Like you got new combos, and then at the one event, all these combos play. And then we'll do like you got to save a couple tunes for like the playoffs.
No, man, you bring new tunes to the playoffs.
Right, you got to save you got to save
new tunes to the playoffs.
Yeah, you got to save some ideas for the playoffs because like you're going to want to like hold something back to drop then. So I mean, it's all about strategy and how you feel like eliminating your opponents. So I don't know how many rounds we'll do. Maybe like start with like 4 bands and then trim it down to 2 and then there's 1 round. So
man, I want to draft my now, man. Look at my players now.
I see, but then you get more than a week because like we can't assemble a band like legally for like at least like a month.
Hey, at least like a month.
Hey,
Totally.
man.
I mean, I don't know if we've ever see. Now, here's another thing: how hard is it to sync an online jam because of latency? There's no can we all like do like is it like in like a Zoom? Would everyone hear it in time? But like,
I don't know.
I don't think it would come. I mean, I don't think everyone's time ends up in everyone's time, and with like you could get like some of those Israeli instruments. What was that? Like the oud or something. I don't know. Maybe there's ways to do something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, me either.
I've been longing to figure out a way to get around that. It would be really great in these times to be able to have people coordinate a musical venture from different homes. And I'm just brainstorming on what that would even take. I have yet to come up with a way to try to keep multiple people in time.
Right. I don't know if that exists.
You know what could happen? You could do a session where you had like a Zoom, and then everyone had their own home studios, and you could watch like one person get a piece together and send it off to the next person, and the next person plugs that into their computer and then adds a piece to that, sends it off to the next person, and then they add a piece and sends it back around the cycle. It comes back to home, and then you put it out, and there you have a song.
That's the only way it would really work, unless you had just a shit ton of quarter-inch to quarter-inch cable, just laid it out over the earth.
Dexy, I hope you've seen Lammy's picture that he chose.
Yes.
I'm looking at.
No, come on, let me get on this.
I was hoping you would choose Sabatka, but it's not your Sabatka portrait. It's not even the Sabatka portrait.
Yeah. There you go.
I love it, dude.
Wait,
this is a great one.
Have any of you guys?
I'm gonna have to put one of these up. I'm gonna have to put.
No. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, by the way, Dex, we need to talk about this beard shaming. Like over here in America, it's starting to become a real questionable thing for me to pack this long, a U-Haul Brothers sized beard. And that's the thing is that Dex and I sort of like have a wrestling tag team, and Jimmy Hart is our manager, and we're the U-Haul Brothers, and we made a special effort to sort of like be interchangeable now. It's like we're both shaved clean on top with the head. He doesn't have the hair out to the side anymore, and he's gone with a long beard like me. I don't know if you kept it long, Dexy, but I feel like you have.
It's long.
Yeah, I feel like you have. So,
well, I think basically what we've got to do right now is we're gonna have to adapt, and we're just gonna have to just shave the place where a face mask goes. Keep everything else. It'll be like it's the pandemic style.
I think you're right.
Yes.
And my beard is so long without the center. It's gonna be such a bizarre thing. It's like
it would be so funny. It would be so funny.
Oh my god! The picture in my head.
You are the first person like doing that. Definitely.
I feel like it would be, I don't know. It would definitely be like Wolverine. It would be like the bald Wolverine
with some neck beard.
It's just like wings, because I got my hair, mine is very like free flowing. It's like it blows in the wind. I don't know. I don't like it because like I've had so much fun growing it, and I'm still saying goodbye. You know what I mean? Like, I know that it's going to happen soon, but as long as I'm in this stage of quarantine, I'm guarding my health and my beard. I sanitize regularly. Let's get a check around the council here. What's going on as far as, like, everyone's grade yourselves with your own personal, like, hygiene approach to what's going on right now. Like, starting with you, Dex.
Oh, I'm an A. Come on, A all day.
A all day. Dex. Nikki, how you doing over there? Honestly.
Yeah, I'm all right.
A? Are you hygienically? Are you like you got all the sanitizer you need?
I got everything I need, man.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
I'm like stocked up on everything.
How tough is it to get supplies in Austin, Texas?
There's no toilet paper.
Why is that?
I don't know. We don't really know like what happened or why that's a fucking thing, But like, people need food.
Right. You have to go to the market a little more often for food than you do for toilet paper. So why are we so scared about toilet paper? Because you're going to be back at the market to pick up the food.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Before you need all that toilet paper, you're never going to need toilet paper again with the amount of toilet paper you just bought.
Yeah, right.
Man. If we can't get toilet paper, then I suggest that we build bidets.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be a different world that we walk out to in the backyard when you say hi to the neighbors while you're like, you got the garden hose up your fanny. Howdy, Jim. Just washing the backside.
Yeah, but there's food. Like, I went to the store today. It's fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I got to be honest.
Lucy's Fried Chicken still open?
I don't know.
Who?
Lucy's Fried Chicken in Austin?
Yeah, I have no idea. I would imagine so.
Got fried chicken. Slam in, yo.
Oh, yeah? Lucy's
Fried Chicken.
Is that what it is? Man, I don't know, Vibes. I mean, it'll be nice at these places. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm telling you, when it comes to fried chicken, I eat fried chicken.
I
love fried chicken. And I can tell you some places that got some nasty fried chicken. Their fried chicken is smacking.
I want to know if anyone is like,
check it out.
Is anyone like bucket listing things, or is there a fuck it list now? It's like now that we're in like quarantine, it's like fuck it. I heard like Schmeens is drinking wine now. He's on. He's got a little bit of fuck it going. Me, I feel like I ate something the other day that I wouldn't have eaten otherwise. Oh yeah, I had an Oreo. Lammy handed me like a quadruple stuff Oreo, and I was like, fuck it. Quarantine. I ate the Oreo. Any strange behavior that you wouldn't do otherwise, anyone? Nothing? What's going on here? Oh, I lost everybody. Well, at least there's a reason why they didn't answer me. For God's sakes. Wow. Let's get everybody back. I mean, how's everyone? You having fun out there, listenership? What a cool conversation. I get to take a moment in between all this. I'm hearing all kinds of noise. Is it like noisy out there? Extra noisy today? Yeah, is that what that is? Man, you know, you don't even know what it's like. Let me get these guys back. You know, I'll get on a rant and I'll never go get them. I'm going to get them back right now. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, on the phone
All right.
with Dex Monday through Friday tour, Nikki Glaspie, and D-Vibes. D-Vibes!
The Quarantine Quartet.
The Quarantine Quartet. Boom. That forever.
Yep.
And what a quartet. What a quartet.
Oh!
You know, that was funny. I was recounting that story to Lammy the other day. It was just like some of the most fun I ever had at a festival was side stage, behind the stage at Vibes where, like, artists and staff parked their cars. Nikki, Dex, and I had wandered off back there with Eric Freitas, who had told us he had like a big handle of Jack Daniels, and we were all loose. Okay, let's just say we were loose at the time. This is good festival, like you wander off. I was with Nikki and Dex. We wander off with Eric to have a drink, and he hands us over this big bottle, and then regales us with Buddy Cianci stories. The mayor of the famous mayor of Rhode Island, or what is he exactly? Providence, is that what it was?
Yeah, he's the mayor of Providence.
Yeah.
And he just regaled us with all of these like tales that you wouldn't believe, like the little known tales about Cianci, which I was way too loose, as I said, to even remember a single one of them. But I will tell you that as all of these stories are being told, Dex and I had just introduced a Sopranos soundbite on our show, which was like a collection of like O's from the Sopranos. Oh! So like in the middle of everything, anyone would say anything, we would end up triggering like a sea of O's. So like every time that Eric said like anything about Buddy Cianci, like one of us was like oh, oh, and every time it just kept happening, and we were just pounding this this huge bottle of Jack the whole time, looking at each other like, hey, can you believe this fucking guy? Oh. And I just remember laughing, guys. I remember laughing as hard as I could possibly laugh, like doubled over. I couldn't even drink.
Yeah, because Eric with his Providence accent on top of it was just
it was killing it.
Amazing.
It was literally shout out, bro, because like that was literally I have never been regaled in story quite so wonderfully. That was something.
That was a great night.
Yeah, great.
That was.
Yeah, totally. So I mean, it's amazing. Like people wonder about like what is it about festivals that like all of us like love so much. You know what I mean? Like why is it? It's not just the music. Of course, the music is part of it, but it's like there's just. It's like an atmosphere that sort of agrees with a musician, where you can just sort of wander around, after your gig till like 6 a.m. with a handle of Jack, if that's what you feel like.
Yep, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
It caters to the vibe.
Yeah, it definitely does. This has been so great. Like I'm really pretty much like at the general length of time that I prepare to go on one of these things. And, I'm going to have to start wrapping it up in a minute. But, I mean, this is just like I don't want to, simply because once I wrap it up, this moment in time will have passed when all four of us were in the middle of a quarantine hanging out together like it's like, like it ain't nothing.
Yeah, but you know what? The beauty of it is that we could do it tomorrow or the next day.
That's
you know,
right. The Quarantine Quartet is gigging regularly
Here we go.
right here.
Got a gig.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to figure out the best thing to do as far as whether I should start another page for it or just like I know that most the people that I know, I got a lot of friends in the Facebook thing here. If it reaches more people this way, I'm just throwing it out this way. But
Dude. Let's start a page.
Yeah, we'll start a
It'll
page.
be the Quarantine Quartet.
Quarantine, yeah. Do, re, mi, Egon. I could have left you for the high note, Dex. I knew you would have come in with Egon at the end if we had just.
You knew I was coming with Egon.
We just haven't done this in so long. I knew you would have given me Egon. That's a real partner, folks. Even though I did it just to be safe.
You gotta do the 4-part bong harmony.
Wait. I can do. Wait. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Perfect.
The silence before the cough was beautiful.
Yep, that's good.
Let me sanitize.
I'm in a hotel room, so I'll have to do it in thought with you guys when I step outside and smoke some of this bush weed. Let me tell you something.
Right.
To go back to America. Holy cow.
Okay, we're getting a pros and cons list going here. So.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's
the
right.
safety.
Quality of drugs, America.
America, all the way.
All day. See, that's why you need to come home.
It's a big reason.
There it is. I think we settled it.
Yeah, the other one is, right. What? No flights for 2 months. That seems awful. Like maybe you want to be on that.
Pretty serious, man.
And you've got a flight. That's the other thing. You've actually got.
I've got
a
flight, but yeah. What am I stepping into coming back? You know what I mean? Like,
hey, come home, Dex.
You'll be stepping into your house when you get off that plane.
Yeah, exactly.
I got rid of my house before I went on this tour.
Hey, you're stepping into Quarantine Studios. You know what I'm saying?
Quarantine Studios.
Yeah,
and I can't, New Orleans is where I would go, but New Orleans is getting hit right now, and nobody down there is paying attention to these warnings. They are not staying inside at all.
Yeah, man. Come on, man.
Yeah,
seriously?
Of course.
Like,
the deal is, Dex, if you come here to quarantine, and this is a hell of a story. So, like, what do I have to do? Like, this is like, if you actually, this needs to happen, then we'll do it right here, right now, this way. But, like, honestly, like, there are rules when you come into my quarantine. But, it's not, I'm not the cleanest person. So there's that too. So, like, you have to worry about, like, but I could use a guy who's like, like a little, maybe just a little bit more pushing the envelope on that than myself. I don't know.
Well, I'm a very neat person. But I've just come into just about the entire LJN collection at this point, including the bearded Kirshner variant.
Ooh.
So we could, I could show up there with a whole bunch of wrestling figures from the '80s, and we could do this.
Dex, is this history repeating all over again? I mean, has it escaped you that like I'm broadcasting radio from a sound museum building?
No, I know that. I saw the background.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, dude? Like, it's like, what's going on here, bro? Like, I'm trying to tell you, like,
Vibes is gonna be a roommate any moment.
Yeah, I got room. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Nikki, do you still have that LJN?
Actually, guess what, guys? I have to draw. I have to cut the fantasy right there. 3 people in my place is just not quarantine level safe. Let alone 2.
I'm probably not leaving where I'm at. I'm probably not gonna leave until this thing is up.
The thing here is that when the fact that me and Lammy are getting together at all, I wouldn't advise it. We're just doing this because like something tells me we have to, and he's just trusting me on that. You know what I mean? He's just saying, all right, Butz, whatever, sure, we got to do this. No, I mean,
outlaw radio, baby.
He should be secluding. We should all be secluding. But sometimes
separate ISO booths for everyone.
That's right. Yeah. Damn straight. Like we can work towards it. Maybe we can do like broadcasts, simultaneously from different studios.
yeah, there you go.
I'll be in the left studio. You'll be in the right studio.
Yeah, right.
And then we'll each have our dedicated cam in the feed.
I love it. Love it.
You know, I thought it was really cool because I was making jokes about the ISDN lines that they used to have at the Howard Stern show when, like, someone was sick, they could go from home, and then Robin had like a long cancer treatment, and she was at home for a long time, and no one even knew because the audio quality was so good. And now there was big news just the other day that Howard is going back to the air, and everyone's like, "What, is he crazy?" No, they've all got ISDN lines from their home. They're all doing the radio show from their houses, and it's going to sound flawless.
Of course.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
awesome.
how cool is that? I'll bet when I would imagine that Howard Stern is the kind of person who, when he was putting the ISDN lines in, he was like, who knows, maybe there'll be like a biological plague or something. Who knows? We might need to stay at our homes. But people who talk like that used to be a little bit okay, end of the world survivalist. But they got the pad that we all want now, like those bunkers, dude. Right?
Yeah, they are styling with their MREs and shit. They got tons of toilet paper.
For real though, like, I mean, where are all those fallout shelters? Like houses in New Hampshire with like fallout shelter built, because a lot of people made them. Where are the listings for houses with fallout shelters? Because I'm interested. Okay.
Well, I think that's kind of the point of it, is you kind of keep that unlisted.
No, I mean, no, but I'm saying, like, somebody is selling a farm that has a fallout shelter. And like, oh, maybe I want to buy that. Like, oh, this farm, like, maybe I want to buy some farm property because I want to get out of the city. And they show me 5 farms, and one of them has this like mint fallout shelter. I'm taking that one.
Of course.
But where are they? Like, I heard that everyone makes them and some people have them, but I guess they're in that part of America that I will never go to.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's out there, folks.
Right. It's out there.
You and me both.
Yeah. Trump was on the air today talking about that America. He was like, ultimately, yeah. He's like, well, you're gonna shut down America, sir. And he's like, meh. He's like, honestly, L.A., New York, these are our hotbeds. He's like, Miami's kind of bad too, but they're cool. They're doing it. He's like, we got it with New York and L.A. because, like, if you've been across the country, like, there's really not much there,
Yeah, right.
There's some people out there, but they're kind of like sparse, and it ain't like L.A. and New York, so I think we got this. I mean, that was literally like kind of how he says it in Trump speak. That's like, it's that loose, you know what I mean? He got in an argument today, which was unbelievable, with a reporter who had asked him a question, and it became like about like people scrutinizing if he was giving people false hope because he said he had a good feeling about a malaria drug. And he's like,
malaria drug. Yeah.
And it was just so funny to watch him get flustered. He's like, a good feeling. I got a good feeling. What do you mean I'm giving people false sense? I got a good feeling. He's like,
he's like, oh my God.
I'm not allowed to have a good feeling? He's like, I'm not allowed to have a good feeling? I have a good feeling. He's like,
yesterday, he's like, yeah, I believe this can work. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Like immediately. He's like, this could work. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
I mean, I don't
know. I got a good feeling, though.
I got a good feeling. This could work.
Yeah, right. Excuse me if like, I'm more like, Star Wars on this. I have a bad feeling about this, but
right.
But that has to do with my upbringing. You know what I mean? I was raised by Han Solo. What? Say it again.
Yeah.
Who? Well, hey guys. All right. So you know what? I think it's just about time to do the thing. You guys have been so great, and we have done something really special today. And the quartet will ride again. The Horsemen. Let's see what we got.
Let's do it. Yeah, doing it.
Consider me in.
Yeah, right. He's like, hey, doing nothing. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, I love it when a good plan comes together, folks. Well,
we'll get together tomorrow. I'll tell you how far I've gotten with this mental frickin' anguish over whether or not I'm staying or going.
Right,
dude. I mean, I gotta be honest. I think you should come home.
Yeah.
There's no place like home. You know.
That's a good point, and that's where everyone you care
the
about.
drugs are clearly better here. So
They're definitely better.
Yeah.
Definitely cheaper too.
I mean, that's really.
Cheaper
I think
too,
that's what, at least from my perspective, that's kind of like all we have right now to keep us sane in quarantine is like good pot, and I will break quarantine to get it.
yeah.
Hey,
Funny.
man.
Yeah, shout out to all the pot delivery people out there. You're doing the Lord's work.
Hey.
You know what, Butz?
No.
You're in a state now where like they can deliver it to you and it's legal in Massachusetts. That's what I call it.
Massachusetts. Well, it's like it's home for that Massachusetts for a little while. And Dex, if you show up at my door, you know, you can come right in, but nobody else. Okay. Sorry. I've already.
Figure it out. If I am back, I'm back on Tuesday night.
I mean, you're not all like getting on the last flight like for months from Australia. So like, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of like this. You got to open your door for somebody. Okay, that's my somebody. Done. Now it's on you to open your door for somebody else. Everybody. Okay. One person.
Not too many people.
No person.
Let's try to keep this contained.
Yeah, contained. No, don't open your door. Go home. Stay safe. All right, guys. I'm gonna say goodbye to the three of you right now. I love you all.
I love all three of you guys. It's been great talking to you.
Love you guys.
All right. Well, thanks for
Shout out
tuning
to
in.
Johnny Durkin out there listening.
Hey!
Who?
Orale!
Johnny
Durkin. Johnny Durkin.
Yes.
Oh.
Johnny D.
Oh! Oh!
Oh.
Wait, okay, guys. You guys are the best. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for spending time. And I'm going to reach out to you. We got nothing else to do, so we will all be back in touch soon. And, and to the listening audience, thanks for sticking around and riding this out with us. We've all had so much fun. And we'll be back here, we'll be back soon. And I'm going to go online tomorrow, come hell or high water. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I'm going to do. So once again, guys, thanks for calling in.
All right.
All right, peace out.
Cheers, Joe.
I'll hit you back.
Love you, Nikki. Love you, buds.
Peace.
All right.
Bye-bye. And, of course, a special goodbye for you all. Let me get a moment to collect myself. Wow. That was fun, guys. Two of my favorite people, three of my favorite people to do radio with. You know, two guys I've, hosted shows with. And Nikki, who is just always, as you can see, what I was talking about at the beginning, we can just get into it. And, what is it about these, people who just want to, like, hit me about Tom Brady in the middle of a coronavirus outbreak? It's like, you see how it is with sports in Boston sports? It's like, it doesn't matter what goes on. You think we're the ones. I don't even need to bring that up right now. But everyone wants to come at me about Tom Brady. Well, yeah. He don't live here no more. That's how I feel about it. But anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow. What do you think about that? I wasn't so sure. One way or the other, we made the emergency Butzcast system if I need to take it on the road. Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyway, thanks for tuning in.